A new Chain TradeBots from a platform known as DAO1. And it's all built on something called the Apertum blockchain.
Right.
You've probably been hearing more buzz around automated trading, AI, and well, we're here to give you a clear shortcut to understanding what these bots are, how they work, and importantly, what makes them unique.
Exactly. And we've got some pretty detailed sources to walk us through it. It lays out everything, really, from the basic tech right up to the step-by-step user experience.
Good.
This deep dive is all about giving you that clear picture, cutting through some of the jargon to get to the core ideas.
Okay, let's do it. So Chain TradeBots from DAO1. Before we get too deep into the technology stack, what exactly is DAO1 in this picture? And maybe more importantly, what's the big thing everyone should keep in mind right from the start?
Okay, so DAO1, it's presented as a decentralized tech platform. It operates on the Apertum blockchain, and it uses smart contracts to offer these, well, blockchain-based tools.
Right.
But the absolutely critical point, and the sources are very clear on this, is that using this product is entirely at your own risk,
Yeah.
completely.
Okay, that's important.
Any losses you might incur are your responsibility, period. And all the materials we're looking at, the tutorials, the PDFs, they're purely for educational purposes. They aren't financial advice or services.
Understood.
And also, it's not available everywhere in all countries or jurisdictions. And the terms of service, the privacy policy, those can be updated. So just to be clear, this isn't us recommending it. It's us looking transparently at the info provided.
That's a really crucial disclaimer. Sets the stage perfectly. Now, you mentioned these bots are built on Apertum. Let's dig into that foundation. What is Apertum? What makes it tick?
Right. Apertum blockchain, or APTM, it's
Mm.
the foundation here. It's described as a decentralized network designed for secure, transparent digital transactions. So, unlike, say, a traditional database, it uses distributed ledger technology. Think of it like a shared global digital book where transactions are secured with cryptography.
Mhm.
They're recorded in these sequentially linked groups of data, blocks. And this design ensures the data integrity, and it's accessible across this whole peer-to-peer network.
So if we connect that to the bigger picture,
Yeah,
how does it stack up against or maybe compare to other blockchains people might know, like Bitcoin or Ethereum?
good question. Apism does share some similarities algorithmically with Bitcoin and especially with Ethereum in its role as a platform for executing smart contracts.
Oh, yeah.
It basically acts as a gas provider for decentralized applications, dApps, within the whole Web3 ecosystem.
Right, for transaction fees.
Exactly. And it's designed to be open source and permissionless, so developers can create, deploy, even audit smart contracts without needing any intermediaries. And crucially, DAO1 itself operates as a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization on Apertum. That really reinforces the transparency, and it kind of eliminates the need for central oversight in how contracts run.
Okay.
The blockchain smart contracts are self-executing, they're automatically generated and enforced. It's meant to be a more streamlined, efficient way compared to, say, traditional legal agreements.
It is interesting, though, that Apertum got mentions in places like Forbes, CoinMarketCap, CoinCentral, calling it a fastest growing blockchain community.
Mhm.
It sounds like it has some momentum.
It does signal momentum, yes. Being recognized like that suggests significant growth adoption,
Yeah,
which is generally positive for network effects, right?
sure.
But, it's always wise to remember that fastest growing can also mean growing pains. Things like managing scale, keeping the network stable, fostering real decentralized governance as it gets bigger.
Good point.
The key really is to look past the headline.
Yep.
You need to assess the tech's actual robustness and whether the community engagement looks sustainable long term.
Okay, that's fair. Let's switch gears a bit to the economics. The APTM token itself. The source material highlights this deflationary model using a burn protocol. What does that actually mean for the token supply? What are the implications?
Yeah, this part is quite interesting. So the APTM token supply is capped. It's limited to 2.1 billion coins total. And like Bitcoin, it can only be mined.
Okay, mined, not pre-mined.
Exactly. And the deflationary part comes from this burn protocol. For every APTM-based transaction, 50%, half of the transaction cost is permanently burned, removed from circulation.
Half, wow.
Yes, up to 50% of the on-chain transaction fees get burned. And these buy and burn protocols, they're designed to be transparent. You can track them on the Apertum Explorer, on the decentralized exchanges.
So this burning mechanism is built in to continually shrink the supply over time.
That's the core idea. It's not just about creating scarcity up front, it's an ongoing built-in mechanism.
Right.
For people holding the token, the thinking is it could potentially counteract inflation and maybe reward long-term holding because the total pool of tokens is always reducing. It creates a different kind of economic pressure.
Right. Increasing scarcity structurally.
Hmm.
Now, okay, these chain trade bots are for trading. How does trading actually work on Apertum? The sources mention Apertum DX and liquidity pools. Can you break those down for us?
Absolutely. So Apertum DX, it's a decentralized exchange. It lets you trade cryptocurrencies directly from your own wallet, no central intermediary needed.
Okay, standard DX concept.
Right. It runs on the Apertum blockchain, and it uses what's called an automated market maker model, an AMM. This allows for, seamless and permissionless token swaps.
AMM model. So this brings up the next question.
Hmm.
What exactly are these liquidity pools and how do they fit into that AMM picture?
Okay, think of liquidity pools as reserves of token pairs, but held within a smart contract.
Right.
So instead of matching buy orders and sell orders like a traditional exchange,
Like an order book.
exactly, instead of an order book, these pools automatically handle the token swaps using that AMM algorithm. When you trade on the Apertum DEX, you're interacting directly with one of these pools.
Okay. And where does the crypto in the pools come from?
They're funded by liquidity providers, or LPs. These are users who deposit a pair of tokens into the smart contract pool. The sources list examples like Apertum wrapped USDT or wrapped Apertum itself, Aniobis, Puglord, things like that.
Gotcha.
And these LPs, they typically earn a share of the trading fees generated by their pool as an incentive for providing that liquidity. They're essentially fueling the exchange.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. Why Apertum specifically as the base for these chain trade bots? What's the value proposition here? What's the synergy?
Well, the presentation lays out a few key reasons. First, the Apertum blockchain tech itself. It's developed on the Avalanche or AVX technology base.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and AVAX is highlighted as, a top 10 tier blockchain globally. So that suggests a certain level of performance, scalability, security right off the bat.
Okay, solid foundation.
Second, you've got Apetum's specific tokenomics we just talked about. That limited supply, 2 billion to be mined over 77 plus years, with 100 million APTM apparently in advisory foundation wallets, plus that unique deflationary burn protocol. Remember, half the transaction fees get burned.
Right, the deflationary pressure.
Exactly. It creates a potentially appreciating asset underlying all the trading activity. And then there are the trade bots themselves.
Right, tell me more about the bots specifically.
So the key features are that they offer AI-powered grid trading, and critically, it's fully on-chain trading.
Okay, unpack those a bit. AI-powered grid trading.
Right. Grid trading is a strategy where you set up a series of buy and sell orders at predefined price intervals, forming a grid around the current price. The AI part here optimizes setting up this grid. The price levels, the number of orders aiming to profit from the small price fluctuations, basically buying low and selling high automatically within that defined range.
Okay, automated strategy execution. And the fully on-chain part.
This is really important for the decentralization aspect. It means every single trade the bot makes happens directly on the Apertum blockchain. It's executed via smart contracts.
So it's transparent and immutable.
Precisely. It ensures transparency, you can verify everything on the chain, and it reduces reliance on any off-chain centralized systems. It fits perfectly with the whole DAO1 decentralized concept.
I see.
So, from an ecosystem view, the whole package is presented as promoting positive growth. Easy integration for developers building dApps, global community acceptance. It's framed as being a fastest growing community in 2025, suggesting, an early mover advantage, perhaps.
So the tech provides the performance, the tokenomics, the incentive, and the bots, the automated strategy.
That's the gist. High performance chain, potentially deflationary token, automated on-chain trading.
Okay, that clarifies the why.
Yeah.
Now, for someone listening who's curious, what does this actually look like in practice? Walk us through the user journey if someone wanted to explore using these chain trade bots.
Sure. The process described is broken down into 4 main steps.
Right.
1, explore the shop. You start by looking at the available bots. There are 7 named ones: Spark, Flux, Pulse, Noda, Quantum, Apex, and Agora. Each has a specific target performance percentage listed.
Target performance.
Yeah, like Spark might show 490%. Now, this isn't a guarantee at all. It's based on past performance, a historical benchmark for that bot strategy. It gives you an idea of its goal. You pick one that seems to fit what you're looking for.
Right, based on historical data, not future promises. Got it. Step 2.
Step 2, view simulator and purchase. Before you buy, you can use a simulator. This lets you see how a specific bot might work with different crypto pairs like APTM USDT, APT METH, APTM BTC, etc.
Ah, a testing ground.
Kind of. It shows things like estimated profit and loss, that max performance target again, and past performance data for that specific pair. Helps you decide which bot and pair combo you want to go with before purchasing the actual bot.
Okay, makes sense. Then step 3.
Choose pair, load, and start. So, you've picked your bot, you've picked your trading pair, now you load the required trade balance. Each bot type has a fixed amount you need to load.
A fixed entry amount.
Yes. And as soon as that amount is loaded, the bot just starts trading automatically, using its AI grid strategy all on chain.
And the final step.
Monitor and analyze. From then on, you can watch your TradeBot's activity in real time, check its performance, and importantly, claim any positive results it generates. The source gives an example, like a Nodabot trading APTM BTC, showing how much of its target performance is left, and maybe claimed profit like, say, 400 APTM from whatever its initial BTC load was.
Okay, that user journey seems pretty clear. Explore, simulate, load, monitor. Now, this sounds intriguing, but we absolutely have to talk about the fine print, the product terms, and very importantly, the risks involved. What do people need to be absolutely crystal clear on?
Right. So, key terms. Each bot has that fixed load amount. Once loaded, it trades. It also has that set target performance value. Once that historical target percentage is hit, the bot expires. It stops opening new trades.
Okay, it has a defined lifespan based on performance.
Effectively, yes. And that target, again, it's a percentage of the load amount based
Yeah.
on past market performance. Very explicitly stated that it can vary depending on current market conditions.
Right. Past performance is not indicative of future results, the classic disclaimer.
Absolutely. Now, any positive performance the bot generates is available for you to claim in real time. You can withdraw it.
Right.
However, if you decide to manually terminate the bot before it expires, it stops, and whatever balance is left is released back to your wallet at the current market prices, whatever they may be.
Got it. What if the market goes down?
That's a key risk point. If the bot's load balance drops to 50% or lower because of market movements against its positions, the bot will actually pause trading.
Pause. Okay.
Yes. It pauses until you top up the balance back to the original 100% load value. Only then will it resume.
Right, a sort of margin call mechanism.
Similar concept, yeah. And while you can claim positive performance in real time, there's a commission structure. 30% of the total value of any positive performance claimed is allocated into a smart contract and distributed according to something called the DAO1 commission plan.
Okay, so 70% of positive performance is claimable by the user, 30% goes to the DAO1 system.
That appears to be the structure described. And this brings us back to the biggest caution, which the source hammers home. All numbers, figures, and targets are not guarantees.
Right.
The disclaimer explicitly states, and I'll quote again, trading in cryptocurrencies carries high risk and potentially total loss. It strongly advises consulting a qualified financial professional before doing any trading like this.
Absolutely critical.
You have to really consider if it's appropriate for your financial situation and, importantly, your ability to actually bear financial risk. This isn't play money.
Couldn't agree more. So assuming someone has heard all this, done the research, consulted a professional, and is still interested in exploring further, what are the actual concrete next steps to get started, according to the materials?
The process outlined involves 3 main actions. First, choose your wallet type. They offer either a platform custodial wallet, where they hold the keys, essentially,
Okay.
or a self-custodial wallet, where you hold your own keys. But the source mentions that for the self-custodial option, KYC, Know Your Customer Verification, is required.
Interesting. KYC for self-custody.
Yeah.
Okay, step 2.
Second, you register. Complete the sign-up steps, which includes uploading those KYC documents.
Standard procedure for many platforms now.
Right. And finally, step 3 is to buy your TradeBot. You deposit crypto into your account or wallet, and then you make your first purchase of the bot you chose earlier.
Okay. Choose wallet, register KYC, deposit, and buy.
Got it. Well, we've certainly covered a lot of ground today. We've journeyed through DAO1's Chain TradeBots from the Apertum Blockchain Foundation. It's unique deflationary tokenomics,
The burn mechanism.
all the way to the mechanics of the DX, the liquidity pools, and that step-by-step process for actually using these AI-powered, fully on-chain bots.
And we've really tried to emphasize those crucial disclaimers and product terms too, highlighting the, let's be frank, inherent risks in any crypto trading and the absolute need for careful personal consideration before jumping in.
Absolutely. So after unpacking all of this, the question for you, the listener, is what does this all mean for you?
Yeah, think about it. We're seeing this blend of AI automation, decentralized finance, and these, well, novel economic models like APTM's deflationary token. It really begs the question, doesn't it? How might systems like these chain TradeBot systems that promise fully automated, transparent, on-chain execution, how might they influence the way we think about managing digital assets or even individual financial autonomy in the years ahead? That's a great point.
How does this evolution potentially challenge or maybe even start to redefine the traditional ways of investing that many of us are used to? What new possibilities for passive engagement, or perhaps what new kinds of risks does this open up, especially for the everyday person looking at the crypto space? Something to mull over.